Hey readers, welcome to the Nonfiction Shelf series here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and if you'd like to chat with me about the book reviewed in this episode, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Shelf Addiction, or in the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. If you enjoy nonfiction, then you'll want to keep informed of what I'll be discussing each month. You can do that by subscribing to the Shelf Addiction newsletter. Before we get started, I want to share with you one of the ways you can support Shelf Addiction. If you enjoy this show and the content that I produce, please share this podcast with someone that you know would enjoy it or on your favorite social media channel. All right, let's jump into it. In April, I completed Troublemaker, Surviving Hollywood and Scientology, written and narrated by Leah Remini. I listened to this 100% on audiobook, so I'm going to run down those stats for you. This audiobook came in at 7 hours and 12 minutes. It was released on November 3rd, 2015 by Random House Audio. So as I just mentioned, I listened to this on audiobook and that was 100% the right choice. I recommend this book on audio. I picked this up more out of curiosity than anything. Plus, the ratings are mostly favorable online, so I thought, why not? Variety is a part of my journey in reading nonfiction throughout the year, is to dabble in different types of nonfiction with different subject matters, and I thought this would be, a good addition to that. Now, I have read lots of memoirs in the past through book clubs and other places. I absolutely adore a memoir on audiobook when the author has the ability to narrate well. And Remini does this. This would have been a completely different book if she hadn't narrated it herself. What I loved about this book is her frankness. She's gutsy and bold in her recounting of a harrowing experience, years and years, decades and decades of dealing with Scientology. Balancing some of those very uncomfortable and odd situations with her quick wit and sarcastic personality was the perfect relief to some of the tension. I felt like I could see her in my mind on King of Queens because her real life voice and persona seems to match what I saw on that show. Now, I'm not a huge Remini fan. I don't watch a lot of her stuff, but thanks to my husband, I have watched King of Queens quite a few episodes. I don't know how many, but lots. But while I have not watched her show on A&E called Scientology: The Aftermath, I did learn a lot about Scientology and the craziness of it all through her book. And I gotta say, this is one of those things where I'm not interested in Scientology at all. I don't have any desire to learn about Scientology, but I felt that learning about her experience and leaving Scientology and some of the craziness that she experiences was worth, hearing, especially because every single person that I've spoke to that has watched it, they rave about it. Now, me personally, I don't want to watch the show, but I figured this would be like a 1-2 punch. I can get what I need to know about her experience without, watching hours and hours of stuff on Scientology. Not only did this book give us her history in Scientology, but it gave us a glimpse at her mother's descent into the cult and how it affected her family, how they all ended up in Scientology, and how it deeply ingrained in her. As an adult, Leah finally understood what was going on, and she shows us what happens when she breaks from the church and her struggles in the first stages of being without Scientology. There is one quote that truly seems to sum up the essence of this book, and this is a quote from Leah Remini. "I am a combative, inquisitive, argumentative person, and I will never allow anyone to change that." And that is exactly what she is. Throughout this audiobook, there is example after example where she questions things. She asks, why is this? How is that? This goes against the teachings, but yet this happens. Where is this person? What happened to this person? And she is like a dog with a bone. She is not letting go, even though she has taken serious repercussions for asking questions, for questioning things that other people just, go along with. On top of all of that madness, if you want kind of a real look into the weird and bizarre world of celebrity Scientologists, definitely you don't want to miss this, because Leah talks about hanging out with Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, being invited to their wedding, what happened during their wedding in Italy, how she ended up inviting J-Lo and Mark Anthony to attend. Was it manipulation or wasn't it? what happened in the aftermath, after she is pulled in, after several people wrote reports on her for misbehaving at the wedding. It is a cluster. I'm telling you, this is the craziest thing I ever read. And I am convinced personally that Tom Cruise is missing a few screws. Definitely check out what Remini has to say about her interactions and be your own judge, of course. This memoir feels honest and genuine. If you like reading about the lives of celebrities, this is one not to miss, because beyond Scientology, we even get to learn about her experiences in Hollywood, from when she goes out and tries to get her first job, when she starts interacting with different actresses in the same kind of category as her, how she gets jobs and loses jobs and doesn't even get callbacks. We get all of that, kind of behind the scenes knowledge as well. So if you're into all of that as well, you definitely get that part of her life in addition to the Scientology. And to be honest, I feel like the book was pretty evenly yoked. So like I said earlier, you have the frankness and the seriousness of what's going on in Scientology, but you also, get her wit and her sarcasm, and you get some fun things that happen to her. And we hear about some of her interactions with people on her shows. That part lightened the load and made it even more enjoyable. So with all of that said, I am going to rate Troublemaker: Surviving Hollywood and Scientology 4 out of 5 bookmarks. If you've read or listened to this title, be sure to find me on Twitter or Instagram and let's talk about it. I'm going to end things there, and until next time, happy reading. Take care, guys. If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.